My name is Alice. I worked for the Umbrella Corporation, the largest and most powerful commercial entity in the world.
What are you doing?
Oh, just about to binge the 6 Resident Evil movies.
Ugh, that sounds horrible.
I mean, do you want to come watch?
Yeah.
Wow, it has been a hot minute since we've done a review. How are you feeling?
Not good.
So we've been on a spree about talking about shitty movies. So this time we decided to switch things up a bit. Instead of talking about one shitty movie, we're gonna be talking about 6 shitty movies. That's right, a series of shitty movies. The Resident Evil series.
You can't do this!
Chupapi muñeño.
The Resident Evil series is probably one of my favorite video game series of all time. It's got horror, action, long list of characters that you get to know over a long list of entries.
The movies, however...
GTA, motherfucker! Oh, yeah! 10 points!
These movies are known for being bad. And I don't know, that's it. There we go.
End of a review.
These movies are known for being bad, but they've got a lot of fan service here and there. And the first 2 movies start off reasonably, you know, not so bad, kind of cheesy, but they had some charm. It kind of got off the rails after the first 2 movies, but stay tuned because we're reviewing all 6 of them, in fact. Probably going to be a 2-parter, so you guys get excited, because I'm not.
After a super drug known as the T-virus is stolen from an underground research facility in Raccoon City, an out-of-control AI known as the Red Queen locks down the compound and kills its occupants. We are then introduced to Alice, played by Mia Jovovich, who wakes up in a tub with amnesia. Shortly after, she is captured by a military unit of Umbrella Corporation soldiers and is taken down into the hive. They must contain the virus and disable the rogue AI before the contamination leaks into the outside world. But of course, things don't go as planned.
See how easy that was?
So the most important takeaway from the first movie, obviously, is Alice. She is the character that we're going to be following through the next 5, 6 movies. This movie starts off with Alice relatively normal. We have the classic amnesia subplot cliche. You think Alice is a likable character in this movie?
She's not great, but I've seen worse, you know? I mean, the first one has its charms, and I didn't mind her. You know?
She hasn't reached her full potential of Mary Sue yet, but we'll get there soon.
Yeah, she has 6 movies to go through.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, you miss movie 1 Alice once you get to movie 6 Alice.
This is absolutely the most tame version of Alice we're going to see.
I'm missing you already.
The most iconic scene from this movie, the one scene everyone remembers, is the laser scene. It's so iconic that it even had influences on the games. I think Resident Evil 4 literally ripped this scene out of the movie and put it into their game. It's probably the best scene in the movie, but as you'll see later on, it gets overplayed a lot.
One scene does not a movie make, I think.
Well said, well said.
So most things in the movie are forgivable, really. But the CGI, they really tried to introduce the liquor, from Resident Evil. Hey, fan service, we all know liquor, guys, come on.
I was excited until I saw it.
I was ready to get licked.
Oh my God.
But the CGI, I don't know, maybe at that time the technology just wasn't there or they just didn't have the budget, but boy, it was rough. Daddy, lick me.
So it's kind of the same deal with the laser grid. They introduced zombie dogs in this movie, and when you see zombie dogs, you're like, holy shit, those are in the games, that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, that will not be the last time you see zombie dogs. In fact, I'm fairly confident after watching all 6 of these movies, they use zombie dogs in every movie. And that is not a good thing. So as the movie goes along, nothing really crazy happens. People get infected, they shut down the Red Queen, yada, yada, yada. We've got, I think 4 or 5 survivors towards the end where they have to do a final boss battle on a train, which is pretty classic to the series, which I enjoyed. However, they do kind of a cliffhanger.
Main male character, whose name I don't remember,
I don't remember it either.
gets scratched by the liquor, as tends to happen when you face off against a liquor in a train. Turns out, gets infected, and at the end of the movie, when they escape the lab, some men in white coats take them away.
The Umbrella Scientists.
Right, and you hear them take away our main character, our male main character, with his scratch mark in tow, and they whisper sweet nothings about the Nemesis program.
What was that? Did someone say
The Nemesis program.
the Nemesis program?
I want him in the Nemesis program.
And since this is a zombie flick, we obviously have to judge the zombies. These aren't any Walking Dead zombies in here. These are just straight up extras with white face paint on. So, pretty bad. These are pretty bad. So the first Resident Evil film, it's an okay place to start. Not a bad zombie flick, could have been better. There's a little bit of connections to the series, not enough though. And we're gonna see soon that it could be much, much worse.
So we get Alice wakes up in a hospital only to realize the outside city she fought so hard to protect is now overrun with zombies. When the higher-ups of Umbrella are ordered to evacuate, one of the creators of the T-virus, Dr. Ashford, realizes his daughter is trapped in the zombie-ridden Raccoon City. He concocts a plan to manipulate Alice, Jill Valentine, and Carlos Oliveira, and others still in the city to team up and save his daughter before the nuke is dropped. But there's something else roaming the streets of Raccoon City, something not quite human. The Nemesis program.
Oh. So right off the bat, we get a noticeable and much needed budget increase. We get characters from the games. We get Jill Valentine. We get Carlos Oliveira. We get Dr. Ashford. I mean, this is looking pretty decent already. And look, we even get stars. And the star of the show here, pun intended, is Nemesis. Holy shit, he looks fucking awesome. He looks like he was ripped straight out of the game, and I am very satisfied as a fan to see him make his big screen debut. The only issue here is fucking Alice.
Nemesis. Run.
Just go!
She pretty much hijacks the whole plot of the movie, and you're thinking, well, the main character, right? Not like that. Not good. She is way overblown as far as her power level in this movie, and really, it's just too much. And, don't want to spoil anything, but spoiler alert here, this continues.
Yeah, Alice is the ultimate Mary Sue, and it starts off very strong in this movie.
Move!
Alice, Carlos, Jill, Ashford's girl, they all get out of the city. Alice defeats the Nemesis program by tugging at his heartstrings because, you know, why the fuck does Nemesis have a heart anyway? But regardless, they get out of the city before it's nuked. And here is where all the issues that the other movies have begin. Alice gets fucking superpowers. Why? Why'd they do that? It's so dumb, stupid, I fucking hate it. It doesn't ruin this movie, but it ruins all the rest of the movies.
Well, maybe in one of the movies, I wouldn't know personally, but maybe she loses her superpowers, then it gets them back, and then loses them again, and then it gets them back, and then it's ambiguous. Could be, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll fucking get to that. So since the budget increase, the zombie rating in this movie, much higher. They actually look like zombies and not just extras, so this movie's got that going for it.
Our verdict on Resident Evil Apocalypse, definitely a better movie than the first. Definitely a better Resident Evil movie than the first.
Definitely.
The budget increase is nice, it helps a lot of things, but it's starting to hurt a little things, especially with Alice and her plot armor. We have the makings of a sweet Mary Sue. Hopefully it won't continue.
Come on, we know the answer to that. It's
Hopefully.
absolutely gonna fucking continue.
Hopefully it won't continue. But overall, you know, it's a pretty fun little B movie, honestly, you know, and it may or may not be the best the series is gonna get.
Yeah.
My name is Alice. And I remember everything.
All right. I'll read this one. After the wreck. Okay, good. But it's still on, baby.
James is not laughing, so it's still on.
After the Raccoon City incident, Alice is on the run from her past, leaving behind her friends as to not endanger them from the Umbrella Corporation. The entire Earth is infected, and this somehow turns the world into a barren wasteland. Alice eventually runs into the Claire Redfield convoy, aptly named because it's run by none other than Claire Redfield. It's even home to familiar survivors like Carlos and LJ, and newcomers like Kmart. Together they hatch a plan to go to a safe zone in Alaska, but Alice has some unfinished business to take care of. Whoa.
I don't even remember what that is.
Now that sounds cool.
What's your name?
Kmart.
Her
It's a
name
girl.
is Kmart.
It's a girl named Kmart, and the reason her name is Kmart is because a couple months ago they rescued her in a Kmart, so that made her need to change her name completely.
She changed her whole name and identity based off of a store. As we said in the last movies, where we hinted, Project Alice is ramped up, turned to 11, to possibilities we never thought possible. And now, there's more than one. She's got clones now.
Enter the clones. So for some reason, this movie decided to go full on apocalypse, even though the last movie was called Apocalypse. The entire world is a barren wasteland, and it's basically Resident Evil Fury Road. That's what it feels like. Alice is dressed like Mad Max. It doesn't even feel like a Resident Evil movie at this point. It just feels like a Mad Max movie.
So in the spirit of Resident Evil Fury Road, of course, we gotta have our crazy bandits that capture our protagonist and put her through a tough time. But really, it's not tough because she's got superpowers.
Oh, don't forget zombie dogs. Hillbillies have zombie dogs.
Zombie dog. I mean, would it not be complete without zombie dogs?
I wonder, I'm pretty sure this movie came before Fury Road, so technically, this movie could have been its inspiration. No, that's not true. This movie just sucks.
porking beans, man. They lethal. I don't see how you cowboys do it.
Years of practice.
This movie's set in Vegas, baby, and it has been reclaimed apparently because no one's there to take care of any of the sand, so it's just sand.
Yeah, sandy Las Vegas.
Desert must have taken it back. 5 years. I'm gonna keep the sand back.
The main antagonist of this movie is Dr. Isaacs, and I mean every movie is just another random scientist or random Umbrella Corps member, but Dr. Isaacs, you think he's here to stay for a good long time. Not really though. It took 3 movies to finally get one of the main antagonists from the Resident Evil series, Albert Wesker, and I mean it's such a fucking letdown, but you know, at least we get him, so whatever.
Vegas, baby. When our protagonist meets up with all her merry band of travelers in the convoy TM, they get assaulted by ravens, and she just happens to come by and meet them. You know, of course these are zombie ravens.
Of course.
Shouldn't have to mention that. And they are just in a bad shape. Thank God our Mary Sue's here.
Thank God Alice shows up.
And she uses obviously she has psychic powers at this point.
Yep.
So she uses her psychic powers to banish the ravens.
So the climax of the movie, the convoy finally makes it to the Umbrella Corporation compound. They get a helicopter, and instead of Alice making the correct decision, getting on the helicopter and going to Alaska with them, no, I have unfinished business. And she goes down and fights Dr. Isaacs, who is infected by the stronger T virus, and he becomes mutated, and the battle culminates into the laser grid room, and it looks like Alice is gonna die. Nope, plot armor saves her because one of the other clones wakes up and saves her with the laser grid. Shocker. The movie ends with full-powered Alice getting a clone army, and then she says to Wesker that I'm coming for you, and that's how Extinction ends. One of the dumbest endings to a movie I've ever seen.
But really scary in a way, because you know there's another movie after, and that's terrifying.
There's still 3 movies after.
And you know what they say? Vegas, baby.
Even though this movie is absolute dog shit, it honestly is probably the most well shot of the bunch. It seems like the director, who I don't think was Paul W.S. Anderson, was pretty competent when it came to making this movie. The only issue was the obvious plot in the script. It was awful. Wow, 3 movies down. We're halfway through, Alex. How you feeling now?
This is worse than when we started.
Yes, I agree. I'm constantly losing energy the more we talk about these movies. But stay tuned for part 2 because things are about to get even more goofy.
Our mental health is about to take a dip. Tune in next time for Vegas, baby.